Well, good evening. Thank you for joining this session. My name is Jeff Chasteen. I'm the interim dean here in the College of Computing and Software Engineering at Kennesaw State University. It's our pleasure to welcome you to our third speaker series in the Hackathon for Social Good. And so we have got a special treat for you guys tonight. We do want to let you know that this is being recorded, so just be careful in what you say and how you say it. Also, as you have questions, you can raise your hand. You can also type into the chat window. I think everybody has access to that. So as I see, I suppose that we'll have questions at the very end of this, and then you can ask them of our speakers tonight. So with that, I'll go ahead and introduce our speakers. We've had a very long-standing history with HPCC, and we have two speakers from that group tonight. Our first speaker she's been with us for quite some time, maybe, goodness, 10 years, probably coming up on 10 years. I know it's been quite some time, has been a very strong supporter of our students, and we appreciate it. She is an alumna of Kennesaw State University. Her degree is in computer science and information systems, and she is currently the director of program management at HPCC Systems for LexisNexis Risk Solutions. She's also the co-founder of the ADAM program, which I believe she's going to talk about tonight. This is a tool that's donated to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children by LexisNexis Risk Solutions to assist with the distribution of missing child posters. And her name is Trish McCall. She's our first speaker, and our second speaker has over 20 years of working in the field, and it spans software application development for desktop, web, phone, and data analytics. Also was part of the original LexisNexis Risk Solutions team and was instrumental in open sourcing their big data platform as HPCC Systems. He has led the R&D of that systems group. So it is my pleasure to introduce both Trish McCall and Arjuna Chala. So thank you.
Thank you, Dean Chasteen. It is great to be here and involved in another KSU Hackathon, and especially this year with such a powerful theme as social good. So I'm happy to speak to you today about one of my favorite projects I'm responsible for, which is the ADAM program. So tonight I'm going to share with you an overview of the ADAM program, what it is, how it's used, the impact it has made, and also how you can help, not only in the recovery efforts, but also helping to raise awareness about this program. So next slide, there you go. So as you may know, LexisNexis Risk Solutions is a technology company. We help our customers transform the way they make decisions about risk using data and advanced analytics. The HPCC Systems platform powers many of the solutions that we provide our customers. And with it being open source, it allows the wider developer and academic community to leverage this platform for their data analytics problems and research. And as a company, we also care deeply about positively impacting local and global communities. We have a long-standing commitment to using data for good, and we continue to look for new and innovative ways to solve some of the most important problems that face our community and our children. Next slide. Okay. So this commitment ties nicely with our relationship with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or NCMEC for short. In 1984, John and Reve Walsh, along with other child advocates, founded the center as a private nonprofit organization to serve as the national clearinghouse to assist law enforcement, families, and others with missing and exploited children. So here to share a little more about the issue and their mission and how we got involved with NCMEC and the ADAM program is a short video from John Walsh.
Hi, I'm John Walsh. In 1984, my wife Reve and I founded the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children after the abduction and murder of our 6-year-old son Adam. Back then, there were no resources available to help find missing children. Today, NCMEC has revolutionized the way our nation searches for missing children, and has helped bring more children home safely than ever before. In 2000, LexisNexis Risk Solutions began a partnership with NCMEC to develop the automated delivery of alerts on missing children program. Now it's better known as ATOM. Before the creation of ATOM, posters of missing children would sit for hours or even days before being distributed. As we all know, time is truly critical, and this program has helped out tremendously. LexisNexis Risk Solutions technology is continued to help us in our mission to recover missing children by providing NCMEC with enhanced features to pinpoint specific addresses and locations. We can even isolate along a highway corridor, which has enabled us to quickly share photos with targeted recipients to assist in the recovery of missing children. Another way LexisNexis Risk Solutions supports NCMEC is through access to your Special Investigations Unit. The SIU team of analytical experts and former law enforcement professionals is always available to help us with complex cases. Together with NCMEC and LexisNexis Risk Solutions, we've been able to recover hundreds of missing children and has helped change the way our nation searches for these children. It's incredible what you've done for NCMEC and, more importantly, our children. I can't thank everyone at LexisNexis Risk Solutions enough for your continued support. As a reminder, anyone can help in the effort to recover missing children. So if you haven't done so already, please sign up to receive missing child alerts in your area at atomprogram.com and encourage your friends and family to do so as well. Now, on behalf of everyone here at NCMEC, thank you so much and keep up the great work.
Thank you, Gianna, for showing that. So as you heard in the video, this is a nationwide problem. As you can see in some of the compelling stats here on the slide, in 2020 alone, NCMEC assisted in more than 29,000 missing children cases, and that's roughly 80 missing children per day. So next slide. Here you go. So as John stated in the video, the ATOM program was created in response to a critical need NCMEC had in sending out their posters. As he mentioned, the current process that they had at the time was slow. It took hours, sometimes days, to send out the alerts. And as we all know, time is truly of the essence when a child goes missing. And these photos serve as their voice and play a critical role in the recovery efforts. So when NCMEC came to us with this problem, we immediately jumped at the opportunity to help. As I mentioned earlier, we're a technology company. We have the tools and resources we use in our everyday business. So why not help NCMEC and the community with such an important cause? And in a matter of months, we built the ATOM program and named in honor of Adam Walsh and donated the system to NCMEC for their use to send out geo-targeted alerts of missing children posters. So it is somewhat different than the Amber Alert. It does rely heavily on the public to be on the lookout for these missing children. So as he said, anyone can sign up to receive alerts in their area at atomprogram.com. Next slide. Okay, so as a visual representation, here's a snapshot of how many cases are currently in the ATOM program across the United States. As of today, there are over 1,600 active cases in the ATOM program. In an average week, NCMEC distributes approximately 40 to 50,000 alerts on roughly 50 missing children cases nationwide. This image also depicts how certain areas of the country seem to have more missing children reported than other areas. And you may wonder why that is, or what can we do to dig deeper into the cause of this problem in these areas? Is it due to certain demographics like population or other factors? We do know it is a serious problem, and a problem that NCMEC or law enforcement or a family of a missing child should not face alone. So the ATOM program is at their disposal when they need it, and it has become a vital resource to NCMEC for photo distribution. The next slide. Okay, so how does it work? As you can see here, when a child goes missing, parents will either call the police or NCMEC directly through their call center. Depending on the nature of the situation, NCMEC will determine whether or not to open the case and create a poster. If yes, the poster and accompanying details will get uploaded into Atom. Next, they select the target of where it will get distributed. And behind the scenes, all the recipients that fall within that search criteria are selected, and off it goes. And these last few steps literally take less than 2 minutes. Next slide. Okay, so after that last step, this is what is received by someone who is registered in the Atom program. On the left is a poster of what is received by fax. And yes, there are still small businesses and organizations who have an active fax machine. And on the right is an example of the email message that's received with both the poster image attached and a link to view the poster online for sharing it further, perhaps, you know, on your social media channels. Okay, and next. This is the form we use to promote the Atom program and where someone would go to sign up. It's a simple process. Individuals and businesses can register to receive alerts in their area based on their address. And after completing the form, you will receive a verification email before being registered as a recipient. So again, it's atomprogram.com, and please pass it along. The distribution of images plays such a big role in missing children cases, and I think working together in partnership with the community to raise awareness about the Atom program and an increased signups can greatly improve the chance of recovery and bring a missing child home. So next slide. And speaking of, I am so pleased to say we have over 185 recoveries since we started this program in 2000. All recoveries are good, but one of my favorites I like to share as an example is the family of 5 siblings that went missing. Posters were distributed to remote areas in a very small town, and one of the recipients happened to be a local convenience store. And come to find out, these children were living in the woods. The abductor and one of the children were recognized by the store clerk who had received the poster and called the police, and all 5 children were recovered safely. This story is a great example of the impact this program has, because you never know, you could be that someone in a gas station or convenience store or a school library and potentially recognize a missing child and make a difference. So next. I think this one, okay. So with that, I hope this gives you a good overview of the Atom program and the issue of the alarming number of missing children in our country and how we can all come together as a community to help in the recovery efforts of missing children. And just one last thing before I turn it over to my colleague Arjuna to talk more about the Hackathon challenge. I've had the honor of managing this project since the very beginning, which is over 20 years ago. I led a team of college students, just like yourselves. This started out as an intern project. And some of them were pretty skeptical if this would ever work, wondering, you know, could this ever help find a missing child? And if I could talk to them now, I would definitely make them realize that that one line of code you wrote 20 years ago has helped reunite nearly 200 missing children with their families. So think about that during this week while you're hacking away, and never underestimate yourself and the contributions that you can make. So thank you for your time and attention, and now I'll pass things to Arjuna.
Thank you, Trish. That was fantastic. It's a fantastic program. Trish really works hard. This is not her main job, but considering the amount of work that she does on both sides of the equation, it's amazing work. Next slide, please. As you can see, you know, one of the biggest challenges is to, even today, I think NECMIC will tell you that what are the potential indicators that we can provide somebody like a law enforcement or anybody who's interested to locate the child, so that they can be located quicker than what they are today, right? Yes, we do send the notification of static information of who this person is, how do they look, how did they go missing, but is there anything else in addition to that we can do? And that was the challenge that Trish put out in November of last year, understanding that we had an opportunity to present to KSU and work with the KSU students here. And with that, I think, taking our background in data analytics and the amount of work that we do across the board with law enforcement and data assets related to law enforcement, we said, you know what, let's challenge the KSU students and see how we can even make a dent in some of the solutions that we already have. How do we incrementally improve something that we already have and make it a little bit better, so that helps the people more. And if you continue to make it better every day a little more, maybe another hackathon or another internship or another program, then I think we will see a lot of progress in a short duration of time. With that, coming back to the challenge itself, one of the stats that really stood out was around the 29,000 children that went missing in 2020, and out of that, like 91% were endangered runaways, right? In a sense, they just wanted to get away from home for whatever reason. We want to help them, but not during this challenge. But it's something that you have to keep in mind, because these statistics are key components to anything that you do as far as analysis is concerned. It helps you plan on how to provide the solution for any part of the challenge exercise you're doing. So that's why we're presenting these statistics to you. So 5% of them were more family abductions, in the sense relative abduct of the child itself. 3% were critically missing young adults between the ages of 18 to 20. So that has an impact too in determining, potentially what is the next steps that potentially these people will take. If they are run away, or they have been kidnapped, or they're missing, what would be the next steps if a certain age factor comes into play? So those are things that you want to keep in mind. Then less than 1% are non-family abductions. In the sense, this is like a random abductions. One of them occurred just last week in DeKalb County, when a robber also took the child that lived in that house with them. So that was a robbery completely gone wrong. And what happened was they had to also kidnap the child for whatever reason. So those things. Then 1% are lost or injured while they go out playing, they're playing, and suddenly they don't know where they are and they go missing, right? Now, what we are really focused in this particular exercise and the challenge is the next statistics that you see, where we talk about around 26,000 runaways reported in NECMEC that are, exposed to child sex trafficking, and I think that is a horrendous statistic right there, and that is what we are trying to see if we can make a dent with doing this challenge. And next slide, please. And one of the things that I think we plan to do is look at, for example, criminals in and around the area where the child goes missing, and see if they have any influence on the disappearance itself, or the danger that they provide after the disappearance. Typically, if you look at the criminal behavior, I'm pretty sure I'm not an expert in criminal behavior, but I've seen the stat before. Most offenders are repeat offenders, right? It's not, in most cases, they just don't show up and commit an offense and then completely disappear. They're usually repeat offenders, and it's like a habit for them. So considering that, if you are provided a list of all sex offenders in the country and their location, and if a child goes missing in a certain location, can we come up with more information to help Trish and her team and NECMEC? Can we come up with a score, intelligence score, saying, hey, this is a very high risk missing child, and it's a high risk because of these considerations. Look at the area in which the child disappeared. The population density is so much, there's so many sexual offenders, and out of these sexual offenders, these many are predators, or whatever information that we can gather with regard to the disappearance, and making this much more magnified search, so as to speak. So when a law enforcement person looks at this poster, they act on it immediately, and they bring in all their teams together and try to solve it as quickly as possible. That's the immediate goal. Yes, we can do a lot more than just draw up a score. If we have enough data, we can almost pinpoint what is potentially the footsteps this child is going to take over a set amount of time, if we know that information. So, but I think we have to take it one step at a time, plan for what we can achieve during this hackathon challenge, and see if we can make progress there. And then later on, one of the students also indicated this, why not bring in information from like social media? So if a child goes missing, usually criminals also chat up on social media. And if we can pick up any wavelength of information that is coming in from social media that affects this particular child going missing, some chatter, then we can connect the dots and make the retrieval of this child much more easier. There's so many things that we can do, and it's mind-blowing. But start small and let's make progress. That's the key. Next slide, please. So with that, I think the information that we have provided initially is really around the children that have gone missing as far as NECMET reporting is concerned this year in Georgia. We just want to constrain the environment to Georgia, because if you go countrywide, there's a lot more parameters that you'll have to take into consideration. So we're taking Georgia as the initial test, and then providing you also all the sex offenders within the region. Another connecting data set that I think you will need is the lat-long information for cities and counties within the country. So so you will be able to correctly correlate if a child goes missing at a location, what is the area where the child went missing, and then from there triangulate to a substantial region and understand what the risks are based on potential sexual offenders that reside in that area. So that, in essence, is the data sets and the challenge that is out there. But that does not mean it's going to limit you. If you think that you can do much more than what we provide you, feel free to do that. If you want to, for example, bring in population statistics for the United States and look at statistics in different counties, I mean, we also have a statistic data set. If you need that, we can provide you them. And then you can use that information and then build a bigger picture on what is going on. Or poverty information, whatever, Trish mentioned that. So that has a contributing factor. Also, it's just a matter of you imagining what this different parameters or elements could be, and then bringing them all together in the form of a solution, okay? So with that, I think we have provided you all the information that you need for solving the problem or coming up with some concepts of the problem. And I think anything that you can come up is extremely useful to us as data analysts, plus Trish as information that she can take back to NECMEC and talk to them about, hey, how do we make this, yes, we have done this over the years and it's been a while since we took it to the next level. How can we take it to the next level? So she can project it like that. And some of you can be the next Trish, right? That means you're going to take it to the next level and make this program bigger and better. So that's the goal. So, and I think, considering the gravity of the situation, gravity of some of the things that are happening in the country with regard to all this, it is a very, very important topic. And thank you. And I will stop there for questions.
Adriana, you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm so sorry. So students, I do highly suggest if you have any questions regarding the challenge or need any more information on the ADAM program, as that will only help you and enhance your solution for the challenge, please feel free to either raise your hand, go ahead and type them in the chat. And now is the time to get real-time answers on those questions.
They're absorbing all the information.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in.
All right. It does look like, Lauren, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do have a question about just like the Atom project in general. So is there any consideration of like children that are in like DFACS watch homes where they're seeing like if there's any patterns between people that are being watched from the DFACS perspective, or do you guys do anything with that at all?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. And so NCMEC, the National Center for Missing Exploited Children, they're the sole users of the Atom program. And so the Atom program is just one of many resources that they have to help them with the recovery efforts of missing children and just exploited children and just children in need. They probably, I can't really speak for them, but they probably have a whole branch of resources that they use to do some type of analytics and the whereabouts of the child and the background and case analytics, if that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, let me put their website in there too, because that could be a great resource for you guys while you're doing this challenge, to look at some of the information that they have out there, because they use the Atom program for all types of missing. So, family abductions, non-family abductions, runaways, just missing, long-term missing. And if you look on their website under issues, you could see, in addition to just missing children, the other things that they're trying to help with children's safety in general.
All right. It looks like we have a question in the chat from Tristan. It says, I might have missed it, but what's the difference between high risk score and sex offender risk score?
Yeah, great question. So sex offender risk score is very fine-grained in the sense that if somebody's looking at the score and sees a high score, that is indicative that the highest risk potentially is really around a child being kidnapped by a sex offender or being human trafficked, right? So that is, what we're trying to do is focus in or zero in on that particular attribute by itself. Now, when you look at the other score is more at a coarse grain level, in the sense that you're looking at probably what is the poverty in that area, what is the historic nature of children going missing in that area, bringing all those details in and saying, what, there's a chance that the child who's gone missing in this area might completely disappear if you don't take action in the next 2 days, right? So some timeline associated. So it is more generic in nature, not specific to child sex trafficking or human trafficking. It's more considering all the other parameters that go into helping the retrieval of the child, if that makes sense.
Thank you for that. And it looks like Tristan says that, yes, it does make sense.
Thank you.
All right, students, any other questions? Oh, it looks like we have a hand raised. Go ahead.
I have a question about okay, so you said that they have to, people in the area have to sign up to receive the notifications. Why not go with an approach? Well, okay, the Amber Alert, it just sends to people's phones no matter if they sign up or not. So why is like why does that require a sign up?
Okay. That's a good question. They are two different programs. The Amber Alert is administered by law enforcement. They're the ones who push out the alert. Now, NCMEC also serves as a secondary. They could pick up the Amber Alert and also distribute it. The main difference with the ADAM program is it's targeted. So you may get an Amber Alert for a general area. You know, the cars passing through down, you know, I-75, but you're heading towards Macon, but you're up here in Marietta, you know, why are you getting an alert, that kind of thing. ADAM is more specific, and also you're receiving the picture of the photo. That's key. You're receiving a picture of that missing child, as well as data around with it, specific data around it. So. And NCMEC is the one that sends out the alerts for all ADAM. And sometimes they do both. They'll supplement an Amber Alert with an ADAM program alert.
Okay.
Yeah, and the reason we do want, well, we need consent. So we do encourage people to sign up to receive these alerts. It's all based, it's geo-targeted. So it's based on that latitude, longitude of the address that you provide. We don't want these alerts to be people to become desensitized with way too many alerts. We want you to only receive alerts for children that might, you know, could possibly be in your area that are missing.
Okay. See, I kind of assumed that it was laws or something that affected it from just going straight to everybody, like maybe privacy laws or something, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so that that's a good point. So Trish, when a child goes missing, NCMEC does make this data available publicly, correct?
Yeah, yeah. They put you can go to the so all of the cases that they use the ADAM program to send alerts for are in their database as well. So if you go to missingkids.org and you find search for missing children, those are the posters as well too. So that one slide that I think I shared, if you sign up for alerts and you get the email message, there's a link that says view poster online. You click that link, it pulls up the poster on the NCMEC website, and then you can further share it.
Yeah, and as far as privacy is concerned, that's the research that I was doing with the data as well. I think NCMEC and the organization in general make sure that they provide only the information that is relevant for searching. For example, they could have as well have given us the whole address of the person that went missing. They don't, right? They give you the general vicinity or city where the person went missing, or the county where the person went missing, and some brief details on, you know, a car or, you know, something like that, where the person went, how the person was missing, so that we will have enough information to locate the person, but at the same time, not take it to the next level and invade their privacy. At least that's what they try to do, from what I can gather from the information.
Yeah. And if you sign up for ADAM alerts to your email address, if that child is recovered or their case is closed, you'll get a follow-up reply saying it's been resolved.
Awesome. Yeah.
Get that too. And over the years, we've built in a ton of functionality that helps NCMEC pinpoint the areas that they want to distribute these alerts. One of the functionality is a highway feature where the case analyst will put in, you know, from Atlanta, if they believe that the child was abducted and they may be heading to Birmingham, using Google Maps. It was on one of the slides, a little map with the little pins. But they can actually draw a map or draw a line, a rectangle from Atlanta over to Birmingham, and then select categories, like say they're off the grid and they're going to be, you know, camping, staying at campgrounds. They could put in, okay, send this alert to all gas stations along this highway and campgrounds that happen to be in this area. And then it's specific and pinpointed.
So that's based on the information that NCMEC has, correct? They don't. Yeah.
From law enforcement or who.
Right. So they don't provide it to general public, right? think there are a few more people actually typing questions. So.
Yeah, so we, LexisNexis, we host the technology that powers the ADAM program, but the program itself is all managed and used by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Yeah.
So we're kind of separate from the day-to-day case working.
Yeah, and again, I think from state to state, the level of information that is available on missing kids also actually changes. In fact, I think if you go to California, they have a nice formatted database of information that you can easily retrieve and use to analyze that. In Georgia, that is lacking. So it's across the country, I guess. They have to conform to different state rules and norms that is out there to understand what can be shared and what cannot be shared.
Yep. It looks like there's a question from Matthew. The recipient's address that you're sending it to, are you using the address that the recipient puts in when signing up, or are you using geolocation from Foursquare or something? Yes, it is used on the address that you put in. So what happens is you put in the address, 123 Main Street, Alpharetta, Georgia. Behind the scenes, it will go and grab the latitude and longitude of that address. And then when NCMEC sends an alert and say, okay, I need to send this to a 10-mile radius of Roswell, Georgia, sending it to these certain categories. So based on that address that you put in, if you fall into that search criteria, then you'll receive the alert. So yes, if that answers your question, it's based on what you put in.
It looks like Jimmy might be typing a question. So there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
All right. So he has put in here, the big picture, the results of what our output will look like is a map that graphs the threats and last known location of the kids. And I will also add additional information that will help authorities recover the lost child. Is that a good assumption of the big picture?
Yes, I mean that's you actually even that is what we are calling a stretch goal, right? If you're able to do that, it's fantastic. Then that means you're closer to what Trish described with regard to helping NCMEC directly from a mapping perspective. Then we can use the solution, almost integrate that into whatever Trish already has on the ADAM program. So when they actually see the map, they also have this additional information there. We want to do that, and it's kind of the stretch goal for this particular challenge. The initial goal is really around, first of all, finding what the risk is, right? That is step number one. If you're able to isolate, what is the risk for this child based on the surroundings, that is accomplishing the goal itself. But if you're able to take that and then map it to a map and then show it on the map, that's fantastic.
All right, and then again from Jimmy, we aren't making any assumptions or making predictions because that relies on algorithm. That's what I was nervous about. I thought we were trying to triangulate something like out of TV.
Coding algorithms make me nervous too. I'm with you.
Yeah. So yes, you potentially, I think machine learning would be the ultimate solution. But what I would advise you to do is use straightforward weighting weights, because some of the statistics, if you go to NCMEC's side, you'll see, and I think I sent another link around another website which showed you some of the key statistics, and you can use those statistics as weighting factors for some of the elements or parameters or independent variables that you might have, and then just come up with an equation to come up with the ultimate score, right? I would say go with that, because remember, if you start with machine learning has a different concept. You need historic data of what has happened in that area over time, and then you can train your machine learning algorithms. We don't have the luxury of that in this particular use case, right? So you'll have to make some assumptions and tee it off, statistics, than machine learning because we don't have the historic information of how did the child go missing, was it because of a sexual offender, etc., etc. We might ultimately get that information, and then it might be the case of training a machine learning algorithm for that. Does that make sense?
I think so. Yep. It looks like much better.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually have a question about the alerts that you receive if a child goes missing. I know you said that you get them via email. Is there a way to also get them via text message or any other format, or is that something that might be in the works?
It's in the works. It's on the radar. So we're looking for at possible solutions to have to get them done by phone, and it'll be like the same concept. You sign up, you put your address of where you were going to get the alerts to. You get the alerts. You click the link and it pulls up the poster of the missing child on the NCMEC website. So.
An interesting thing, I wonder this, Trish, is that what is the typical effectiveness or comparison between something like an Amber Alert versus something that we do? What is, Amber Alert is just a brief description. Oh, there's a car going here and there, and child went missing. But whereas we send a lot more details, including the picture of the child and all of that. Do you have any stats?
Well, I mean, the Amber Alert is triggered by law enforcement, and they can only use the Amber Alert on certain cases. So they have to know that the child is possibly with somebody and going somewhere, and maybe a car's involved. Versus the ADAM program, you may have very little data, but still use the ADAM program to send out the alert on a missing child.
Yeah.
Like for runaways, probably it's a use case for using the ADAM program would be more relevant.
Yeah.
But they're both powerful programs, and that they have as resources for law enforcement to use.
Yeah. Just to follow up on Jimmy's comment earlier, Jimmy, the other thing that you want to consider, even in the sex offender database that we have provided, if you look at one of the columns, it has information like, okay, this person is an offender, or is he a predator, or is he has been incarcerated, or whatever, right? And then there's a general text field about what type of offense, whether a child sex offender, or something else. So there's so much of that information that is already there that you can derive or you can extract, and then use that as, if they're a predator, that means this guy is like really troublesome, right? And your scores automatically go up if you have predators in that area. So it's just an example. I think you can consider those scenarios too.
All right. I just want to check, Giovanni, I know your hand is raised. I wasn't sure if that was from earlier or if you had another question.
That was from earlier.
Okay, just double checking that we make sure we get all the questions answered. All right, and with that, I'll do one last call if anyone has anything else that they'd like to ask or need clarification on while we have Trish and Arjuna here. Oh, it looks like we have some students typing, so I will just give it 1 second.
Yeah, while we're waiting, one of the things is, I know we have the Discord chat feature where we can discuss, but if some of you don't think or don't use Discord and you want to reach out directly, I think all of you should have our email IDs. If you don't, reach out to Professor Don or Adriana, and they'll be able to get in touch with us, and then we can start discussing. We can set up a meeting on Teams and discuss it one-on-one too.
All right. And students, for those of you that may not be on our Discord server already, I'll go ahead and put the link in there in case you are already using Discord, just aren't on our server yet. That way you can join and you'll be added into the HPCC Challenge channel. That's a tongue twister. That way you'll have access to all of the questions that have already been asked, and other students may have already had the same question that you are currently having. So I will be sure to add that into the chat for you guys.
Yeah, that is extremely important because some of the kids are slightly ahead, and we did help them with some of the solutions, and it is out there. So you need to take advantage of the common information that is out there, so that you can have a level playing field, right?
Thank you, everybody, for your interest.
All right. So thank you guys so much for your time, and I will hand it back over to Dean Chasteen.
Well, thank you guys for the presentation. Also, thank you for your support over the years. You've been fantastic partners to us. I enjoyed this presentation. It's actually the first time I got to see it, so so thanks for that. And it's also wonderful work and really pairs well with our hackathon for social good. So on behalf of the college and on the students and faculty and everything else, thanks for everything that you've done for us. So with that, I'll say goodbye to everybody on this call, and look forward to seeing what you're doing. Take care.
Right, thank you.
Go Owls. Good night.